In this video, I'm going to share with you how to manage dirty dishes winter camping. Are there really some good techniques for how to keep your dishes clean? How do you do this? In a moment, I'm going to take you into the field on one of my expeditions where I discuss critical factors about managing dishes because you have to eat something. That's simply unavoidable, right? But you've got a mess. It's minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 18 degrees Celsius. What do you do? Ooh, yeah, super, super cold, right? Or maybe it's minus 27 degrees Celsius. But whatever. Because the moment you finish eating and you're done with your pot and you set your pot down for a moment and it's that cold, what happens? The crud freezes to your mug and your pan. What do? Also consider, are you going to cook in your pot or are you not going to cook in your pot? That is a major, major consideration. When I was on Denali climbing in 2016, one of the guys that I ended up climbing with from Australia, he ended up splitting up from his team. He merged with me, something you're not supposed to do. I know, we'll get past that. But he discovered that when we got back down to the 11,000 foot camp, he dug up the dishes and his climbing partners had not cleaned the dishes at all. They literally had noodles sticking out like this out of the pot, literally like whiskers. He opened it, son of a bleep, bleep, bleep. Exactly. And there he was at like 10 degrees with his spork trying to chisel away the frozen noodles and meat in the pot. A couple factors here. The climbing partner, clearly not reliable, clearly not responsible, but there was the risk that, one, animals would dig this up. Literally, that happens on Denali. Animals, ravens, love to dig. They have nothing better to do. And two, health reasons. Unless you get this pot perfectly clean, you have old food on there that may have developed bacteria, and you'll be doing the sort of thing, which you don't want to do. So now we're going to switch to the video of me on my expedition to explain a couple of other factors about this. When you're done with breakfast, you pour some rinse water in here, swirl it around. Don't pour it out because, one, you're wasting water that took a long time to get from melting snow. Two, you're going to need as much hydration as you can get, plus you get the extra minerals and sugars and whatever else. And three, when you pour it out, especially in night, that smell is an extra attractant to animals, especially the 800-pound long-toothed grouchy types called grizzlies. So you don't want to do that, but by just swirling it around and drinking it, you get a double bonus or triple bonus there, and it really helps clean things out so you don't have to do so much cleaning. And also, especially like my mug's threaded and everything's threaded, take one square of toilet paper and wipe down those threads because two reasons. One, your mug or whatever you're using will freeze, and two, that extra milk or residue in there in the threads, and when it gets warm in the day and warm and cool will actually become biologic, I call it, and start to build up bacteria. So when you're opening the mug at night, you end up with bacteria growth that you're putting your food in. So keeping those threads clean and getting all that residue out is really important because you don't want to be yakking your guts out in the woods because you didn't clean your dishes. What did you think about that? Did you ever consider that, yeah, okay, I've got to clean the dishes, but what about those little pesky animals? Because they use this to go find this so they can eat. The problem is this is probably right next to you in your tent. So maintaining dishes is a big deal. But the key to this whole activity is to try and avoid having dishes with food in them, especially with heat, at all. There are a lot of mountain climbers on Denali who love to cook ramen and go with that. That is certainly a great option. Ramen doesn't really leave too much residue in your pot, but if you cook something more serious, where you have real expedition food, how are you going to clean your pot when it's frozen? So think about this. Do a test at home. When you load up your food, literally cook it in your pot on your white gas stove, eat it, and then take that pot and throw it in the freezer, wait a couple hours till it's rock hard and bring it out, And that is a great simulation of what it's like to be in polar climates and on mountains. And you might say, Aaron, that's dumb. I immediately clean my food. Yeah, right. Because just remember that when you're cleaning this food, it's already frozen because you've eaten out of the container, you've eaten out of the pot, you've set it aside, you're doing other things. It's so cold, it's going to freeze this super quick. So you need to plan and think out, hey, this food that I'm cooking is super nutritious, but what happens when that stuff freezes inside this pot? What am I gonna do? That is a major, major consideration. So I usually avoid cooking breakfast at all. I just go with cold cereals and granolas and sugars and powdered milks and such. And at dinner, I just use boiling water, pour that into my food thermos and eat from there. Yes, I have to have the food thermos. I have to clean that. But as you can see in the video clip, I swirl the water around and do everything I can to keep that stuff liquid. Drink it to get the moisture, because you need that moisture, and then get everything cleaned up and wiped out as quickly as possible. And I tend to use a little toilet paper just to wipe this up. And remember, of course, to use hand sanitizer to clean your hands so you don't have something that came from here earlier that you didn't manage into your food, into your gullet, which will cause more problems. Check out my book, Adventure Expedition 1. I talk a lot about this, as well as Dr. Terry Williams explains the risks of not managing your food containers properly when you're out winter camping, mountaineering, climbing, hiking, biking, or whatever you might be doing. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer. Please check out links in the description and in the comments to my books, Antarctic Tears, Lost at Windy Corner, Adventure Expedition 1, How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold, the Jackson Hole Hiking Guide, the Most Crucial Knots to Know, and the 2024 Total Eclipse Guides, as well as my shows Antarctic Tears and Lost at Windy Corner. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can get more pointers about managing your pots and pans and everything else.